Well, I mean, speaking of art, you had said at one point that you had switched your style because you got tired of being America's N word.
Mhm.
What does that mean?
Well, one of the things that I think that happens that I don't even think that we as black people notice is that there's two types of black people that America loves to pay. And that's the out of control, stereotypical, you know, fear-based black man. Then it's your total sellout, no beard, no culture, he don't stand for nothing, just Mr. Get Along guy. You feel me? And even though I've been conscious since I was in 11th grade, there's a very and I promise you, man, when Dave Chappelle was going through what he was going through, bro, I wanted to just go find him and tell him, bro, I feel the same way. There's a very thin line between culture and stereotypes.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you remember this, doing my album Certified, I had started dressing up in suits.
Right.
And all my homeboys say, bro, what are you doing, man? Like, that's crazy. And I was like, bro, although we do wear gold teeth, although, we do wear white tees, that's not the only thing in our culture. Think about our music. 80% of our music is about violence and selling dope, but 80% of our community don't sell dope, and 80% of our community is not violent. So then why is 80% of our music that? It's because that's what America pays for. That's what these record labels pay for. And black folks always get the residual effects of the shit that America has historically done, but we never put it on them white folks and them accountants and them lawyers that's sitting behind those desks. And I know one of them in particular who said he ain't signing nothing but violent music. So for me, I had fallen into that myself. And if you notice, Vlad, I'm not talking about no other rapper. I am talking about me. I'm talking about the effect that I had. I am talking about, waking up one day and looking at myself in the mirror. And although, yeah, I did a lot of stuff in the streets. Yeah, I got an anger problem. Yeah, I had guns. But I'm also a semester and a thesis away from my master's degree. I also threw one of the largest urban relief concerts in history for Katrina. All of the stuff that we do in the community. I'm one of the youngest men who were ever inducted into the Mississippi Hall of Fame for music, next to B.B. King. I had a 3.9987 in accelerated master's program. Nobody ever talked about that, but I felt myself falling into those stereotypes myself. And although I'm from that culture, although I've done more than the average person that raps about it, I started looking at it like, damn, bro, I'm going overseas and there's not a balance of information that's being broadcast out about young black men and women. At the time when Get Like Me was out, that's when reality shows had just started, and then our rap videos. So, when we're being attacked and policemen are killing us and all that kind of stuff, America is trying to justify that through our what? Our art. Saying that the things that we're doing are justified, bro. And I just said, I'm tired of being that, man. Like, I don't have to be that, bro. And, I didn't get it when Andre made his change, when Andre 3000 made his change, bro. I didn't get it. I said one thing that I did want to be, though. I think the person who did it with that, to me, was just so fucking genuine, was Ice Cube. When Ice Cube was made his switch and decided to go more conscious, he didn't change the way he dressed. He didn't stop cursing. The information that came out of his mouth, because he was feeding different types of information in, it came out, and that's what I wanted to be. It ain't too much different about me. I still want the same things. I still do the same things. Those things just don't control me. And Vlad, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. The things that I would have killed somebody over 10 years ago, they don't even matter anything to me now, bro. And the sad thing is, for the most part, a lot of people have bought into white supremacy, both black and white, because it pays. And then they use religion against you. You think because you're making money or it's easy on you that God has blessed you. That's a lie. If I've taken all the resources on this earth and you start acting the way that I want you to act and I give you a little bit of your resources back and you think there's a connection between your prayers and you getting a couple of those resources back, that's some bullshit. I think that religion, they talk about in America, especially in our major cities, how, everything is being co-opted and regentrified. But the same thing happened in religion, the same thing happened in music, the same thing happened, in the way that we look, it's a lot. I'll leave that right there.
Well, you mentioned Ice Cube. Mm-hmm. How did you feel when you saw the video of Bill Maher calling himself a house N-word, and then later on Ice Cube went and talked to him about that?
I didn't get a chance to really watch Ice Cube's video. I saw a little piece of it.
Okay.
This is what I believe.
But you saw the Bill Maher one, the original one.
Yes, I saw Bill Maher. So this is how I feel. Ricky Smiley just called me, and I did his show about it. Ricky is a really good friend of mine, and I did a Facebook Live post. This is what I feel. Black people who are watching Vlad, for one time in recent history, let's agree on something. Let's agree that we're not giving any more white folks passes when it comes to the word nigga. See, there's these gray areas, and these people and some black folks feel like they can give certain people passes. None of us have the power or should think we have the power for a whole race of people. But let's just say today, on DJ Vlad, that we agree that there ain't no white folks calling black folks niggas in their face. And if you do, it's totally disrespectful and it warrants a fight. So what happens is again, our culture has been co-opted so much, and so many of our leaders want to be up under white people with power that we give them passes. When the truth is this, I personally believe that Bill Maher is a little bit too comfortable. Because I said this and I mean this. I asked one of my white friends one time, I said, yo, bro, are you comfortable with saying the word? Are you comfortable with saying the word nigga? And he said, not around you. I said, yeah, that's safe for you. I said, but in general, are you comfortable? He said, yeah. I said, were you comfortable 10 years ago? He said, no. I said, why? He said, for two reasons, David Banner. He said, well, for one reason, I thought a black dude would kick me in my ass, so I was afraid. He said, that's one reason. He said, the second reason is because I respected the struggle of what black people have gone through historically as it pertains to that word. Because one thing white people seem to forget, there is a reason why we don't want you to call us nigga, and you are the reason why that shit happened. I am a victim of your fucking racism. So he said, well, David, I said, well, if you were not comfortable then and you're comfortable now, what does that mean? He said, damn, David, man, I never thought about that. He said, that means either I'm not scared of black people anymore or I don't respect them. If you love me, let's say something very bad happened to you, bro. Let's say you got stabbed with a knife in your fucking neck, right? When I'm around you, Vlad, I'm not going to be spinning a knife up in the air. Even if you play with knives. You want to know why? Because I respect what you have gone through. Black people had to accept the word nigga because we didn't have a choice at one time whether we were going to be called nigga or not. It was a whole over 500 fucking years of pain that white folks never did shit about. Think about this. Obama just passed a fucking law when he was president. He gave, not a law, but he gave $12 million to Jewish people who were affected by the Holocaust. I don't have a problem with that. That's cool. But America didn't have anything to do with the Holocaust. So if white folks really cared about what happened to black folks, they would either give money or pass laws to protect them, which they have done neither for the most part. So for white people to want to say the word nigga and act like they care about us, get the fuck out of here, dude. Why would you want to do that? What is the greed and again, to me, that's white supremacy. It doesn't affect you, so you really don't give a fuck. Let me or you or any of y'all motherfuckers in here say something negative about a Jewish person. I bet you DJ Vlad TV gonna disappear. I bet y'all David Banner CDs gonna end up being off they do something. Say something about any other race of people on national TV that's derogatory. Lights and shit gonna start flickering off. But the problem is black people don't have anyone to protect them. Most other people have a country and a flag that will come to protect them. Africa, for the most part, we don't have, a country in Africa that's going to come to black people's rescue for the most part. So it's like then we have to turn around to our oppressor, the same people who have done those things and called us and created that word nigga in the form that it is in now, to protect us. I want to ask, I always ask this in my speeches. If any of us, especially as a black person, if we do something to a Russian kid, guess who coming to see us? Russians. If we do something to an Asian person, guess who coming to see us? Fucking ninjas. Cut our fucking head off. When something happens in our community, we got to run to the police. And then the same motherfuckers in a lot of cases that's killing us anyway. So the word nigga, bro, let's just say from now on, so it will be very clear. If you say the word nigga, it's a derogatory term. And I want to tell the youngsters this. This is to all of our young people. Because we always blame these children for their music, and we always want to dump shit on these children. But our children, again, and I said this the last time, are a reflection of what we did or did not teach them. If y'all have white friends that are around you calling you a nigga, then that reflects on how they feel about you and they feel about your culture. The way that people act around you, I always used to tell people this, like, you say what you want to around the people that you feel comfortable around saying it around. You know what I'm saying? If Bill Maher was probably in the room with your friend that you told me about, do you think that he would say that?
Probably not.
Do you think if he was in Jackson, Mississippi or Brookhaven, Mississippi, where my uncle literally got hung, my great uncle got hung from a tree for fucking real? So you saying nigga means something to me. I'm not so far removed from my culture that I don't remember or I don't respect it. The way that you let people talk to you and act around you is a reflection of how they feel about you.
Your uncle got hung from a tree?
Yeah, my great uncle.
Great uncle.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
I think that certain people, like for example, this has been an ongoing topic in a lot of my interviews with Lord Jamar, where he stated that
white rappers, you're coming to this almost as a guest, okay? Matter of fact, you are guests in the house of hip hop. Just because you have a hit record doesn't give you the right, as I feel, to voice your opinion.
And I completely agree with him. There was an old interview I found years before me and Jamar started doing interviews where someone asked me that, and I actually said the same thing, just by total coincidence. And I think that certain white kids feel because they have a certain number of black friends, they listen to hip hop, they might have messed around with a couple black girls, that they now have a pass to say certain things, and they really don't.
But this is the thing that what my life has changed. I used to come from a place of anger. Now I come from a place of love. So I'm speaking from a place of love. If you have been blessed by hip hop and been blessed, black people have allowed you in their culture, you should love them enough to not want to say it. That is the point. Even if they let you, it doesn't fucking matter. But the fact that we allowed them to be comfortable enough. You know, I remember when I got into a conflict with somebody about it. You know, the fact, that's what I was telling you about white supremacy. The fact that white people feel comfortable enough to argue with the black person about how the shit that they did to us makes us feel is white supremacy. Because at the end of the day, if it hurts me, you can go on back and be white. I still have to deal with that. You understand what I'm saying? So my point with those rappers is not just the fact that they should be punched in their fucking mouth, but from a love perspective, if they really loved and respect the culture, then why would they want to do that? And let me ask you another question. And this is when you were asking me the question about, you know, people, the rappers who were half white and half black. I would always notice, with the exception of maybe one or two that I've heard, they go real hard on the word nigga, but you never hear them say cracker. You never hear them say anything derogatory about the other side of their family. So the people who buy them and the culture that they are in, you should hold them up and call them gods. But because something has happened to them historically, and maybe they may not in some cases even know that there is a problem, you talk about them the worst. Why didn't you do the culture or do something from the culture of your other side that you hold so high? Because if that's the case, then why don't you talk about everybody equally? The same people, those same rappers who want to say nigga, are they as excited to say anything else on their record? But most people are scared, even other white people, of what white society will do to them. Because all they do is pull resources. Like I told you last time, white supremacy is only afraid of two things. That's the loss of life and that's the loss of finances. But the flip part of that is when you own the power to take a life or take resources, then you, in most cases, you also control the mind and the mouth of those who come up under you.
One of the things that Ice Cube told Bill Maher was that the N-word was used by white people as a weapon, and they can't have that word back now. But if you take a step back, do you feel that that word should just be removed altogether? Because you don't hear other races using derogatory terms towards each other. You know, like you don't hear Jews calling themselves kikes, or you don't hear, you know, Mexicans calling themselves beef.
Other races haven't been, first of all, other races, excuse me for interrupting, haven't been through what black people have been through as long as we went through it. And in a lot of cases, a lot of other races who have went through some similar things, they can move and matriculate within that oppressive race in some cases without being detected if they would throw away their culture. The problem with black people, and I keep trying to explain this to folks, is that we haven't been out of slavery longer than we were in slavery, and people keep forgetting that. And we've never been reprogrammed. Even the so-called smart black people who went and got conscious, most of them didn't come back and teach. So we never got any mental therapy, social therapy, cultural therapy. Like, I did my blood test. I found out what region I'm from, but culturally, I don't even know where the fuck to start. So most of us who are conscious, and that's on the internet and that have smartphones, we judge everybody based on what we know. When in most cases, that was the reason why I made this God box. Is I know most people don't understand what the fuck I'm talking about on the God box. So we have to educate them. We have to surround them with the DVDs, with the lectures, with every fucking thing that you possibly can. That's the reason why with the exception of LA and Chicago and Houston, only because they paid me to come, I go to small towns where people don't go to. I go to the places where the rappers are scared to come. You feel me? Or most entertainers are scared to come. Where most of their grandparents are from. Where they're not privy to that type of information. Whereas what they don't understand is, growing up, if you research the black codes, I talked about the school system. You criticize young black kids for not wanting to read and do math, but a few decades ago, there were laws. Like, yeah, a few decades ago. There were laws that if you knew how to read or write and you were black, you could die or fucking be locked up. Nothing ever happened to subsidize that gap. So it's like, even with my flag in my box, people have to know why it is important to have a flag. If they don't, it's just a piece of cloth. I don't want people to stop saying nigga because somebody forced them to say nigga. I want people to stop saying niggas because they are gods and because they know that they are gods. But there are some niggas out here, and they ain't all black people. Ignorance and lack of life and information, it can be anybody. White folks can be niggas, anybody can be a nigga. The problem is the use of it to blanket a whole race of people. So for me, I just think that, I hate so much when people point at someone else and say, because you do something, it makes my wrong right. My wrong don't make your wrong right, especially why you the reason why it's wrong in the fucking first place. And I also have a problem culturally, is when white folks go to Africa, or white folks come to the hood, and they have opinions on how to make black culture better. No, come and fucking listen. Come and ask, how can you help? The problem of thinking that you're smarter and you're better and you have the answer for something that you are not is the problem in the first place. See, and what you can do is for, they'll give money for dogs, they'll pass law for dogs, even during the point where innocent black children were being murdered at a very high rate by cops. Innocent people. They passed laws to protect cops during the time when they was out here killing black motherfuckers. It's the same thing with the owner of the fucking Clippers. He called us a nigga and he got $1 billion. Don Imus called our women nappy head hoes and got $1 million deal. It's like when white folks do wrong publicly, they get paid for it. We just go away and deal with it and pull ourselves up by the bootstraps.